That's right. Feeling better now.
Working on that sponsorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Popeyes.
Yeah, my son would be super stoked if we were
Right? Can you imagine Popeyes every night? What would we look like? Fuck, that'd be nasty. Popeyes every
you look
night.
the same you do now.
No way, man. Not on Popeyes. If you eat that maybe white chicken.
Chad, your son is a baller. You didn't want the chicken parm?
Y'all are geeks. You didn't want the chicken parm. My son is a baller. My son loves the chicken parm, actually.
Yeah.
Popeyes has chicken parm.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Are you saying that you had chicken parm tonight? Is that what you're saying? Yes. Okay. Got it. Chicken parm.
Hey, Jennifer, who's in the van?
I should know this, but I didn't walk downstairs today. Is that rude of me?
Who's in the van? Can you scroll over who the van is? We got to get a name so we can say, hi there. Timmy. Hey, Timmy. Hey, Michelle. Rachel, Pete, Caesar, Alicia, Jennifer. Nice. Well, we got like 45 seconds. You want to tell them the rules?
No.
No.
No rules yet.
The
rules are there ain't no rules. Oh, yeah. Dim the lights a little bit.
The first rule of recovering out loud is that as long as you're loud, everything else goes.
Not. Did you turn it all the way off?
Hey, why does that corner when you pull in look different up there, up the street?
Oh, they totally cut all the trees down.
That's what it is. I was pulling in, I was tripping out because I was like, something's different, but I couldn't tell what it was.
Yeah, They took them a few days. Darn.
We're not sure.
I'm gonna go live on Instagram.
Yeah, do it.
It's hard to do this stuff when you don't know what you're doing.
Need your glasses?
No.
Don't be shy.
I got them young eyes still.
Bro, it happens from one day to the next. It's like you're 29 and all of a sudden you're 31.
You say one day to the next as though like 30 years haven't passed, and that's when your eyes got back.
What are you saying? I'm 50? I'm not 50. I'm like
I know you're not 50.
38. I'm going to be 39 here in a couple months. January 30th is my birthday.
Oh, can you unmute Natalie?
I am doing some homework too. I'm listening while typing. Hey, Rachel.
Proud of you,
Natalie.
Rachel. Hey, Carly's here. Hi,
Hey,
Carly.
Hi, boys.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
We are fantastic.
Yeah.
We're just
Are we live?
Why don't I see you guys?
Wait, you can't see us? Oh, you know what? Our video is not on. Can you turn our video on? Darn. We're
What would you guys do without me?
Can you see us now?
No.
How about now?
Not yet.
We're looking at the technician. I'm mad dogging him. This is me mad dogging. This is as bad as I get, bro. Arr, arr. We have no video.
We have an assistant in tonight, so cut him some slack.
Yeah.
This is his first time doing it.
Yeah.
Basically, it's still Michelangelo's fault, but
Yeah, it's Michelangelo's fault.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The Hopeaholics. Oh, do you see? What is that weird?
there. Well,
Oh, yeah, we're not on. You're right.
No, not yet. You just see like a little video. Oh, I think maybe.
Pro go.
No. You see GoPro.
Yeah, so do we.
We will figure out which camera it is. Is it the OBS virtual camera?
Wow.
You should start video. Yeah. There we are.
There we are.
Hey, hey.
We see ourselves now.
Oh, this is nice. How come, you know what? Why don't we should always have us in the corner there.
I still think we should put a camera over there so that we're looking at the
Oh,
camera
you know what?
while we're talking. That's just weird.
We're making some upgrades. There's going to be
Yeah.
a TV over there, and the camera will be over there.
All right. I like it. I approve.
Yeah, thank you.
It's Luca proof.
All right, guys, we're going to get started here.
Yeah.
I am going to turn off our live.
Why? Let's go live. I'll hold it. While Luke tells the story.
Okay.
We've been live.
All right. All right, guys, welcome to the Tuesday night Zoom Recover Out Loud meeting. This meeting is for, I don't know why it does that delung thing now. Anyways, this meeting is for everyone, not just addicts. The Recover Out Loud meeting is not to replace whatever you do on a normal basis to stay sober, clean. So if you go to 12-step meetings, continue going to 12-step meetings. Use us as an ancillary, an add-on is what Shane likes to say. I don't really like Shane holding the camera.
Look at you using those big words.
Ancillary?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little add-on, you know.
I'm waving. We're 40 deep here. I'm just waving at people, bro. Just keep going. You look great.
Deep.
So 48 deep.
Yeah, so tonight we have Luke. He's going to tell a story for about 20-25 minutes. We'll get going.
Going to time me.
Yeah, I'll just
Luke is a veteran, combat veteran.
That is correct.
Oh, amazing. Thank you for your service.
Appreciate the support.
Yeah, so Luke is a combat veteran. He's also
still serving America.
He's also in recovery.
He's just serving the female Caucasian females, and that's all he serves now is females.
That is not correct.
So
sorry to interrupt. Sorry, keep going. Sorry.
Stop messing and stop putting out rumors.
Yeah.
So Luke.
Yes, sir.
We're going to let you take it away. It is Shane. What time is it?
Here, I got a timer.
Okay.
All right,
Shane's got
I'm
my
going.
phone,
I got
so-
20.
All right, go.
All right, so my name is Luke Hudson. I have a recovery date of November 15th, 2021, and I will say that is right around the time that God saved me. I'll qualify real quick. Let's see here. Born in Oklahoma, grew up in Oklahoma, both parents, normal childhood. Can't say that there's anything from my childhood. There's no abuse, no sexual trauma, nothing from my childhood that would link to, oh, that's the reason why. Because for a lot of years, I kept looking for a reason why I ended up being an addict and alcoholic and everything else that you'll hear in my story. Joined the Marine Corps right out of high school, 2004. Came out here to Camp Pendleton. Went to San Diego. Then Camp Pendleton with 2nd Battalion 1st Marines, Echo Company. And shortly after joining, went to the fleet. And July of 2005 was my first deployment to Iraq. 2 days before that deployment, so it was July 14th because we deployed July 16th, was my first time ever drinking alcohol. I didn't grow up drinking. I just never felt like I needed it. Never wanted it. I was a young kid and never needed something other than what I had to deal with. Didn't drink the whole time in Iraq, and we lost a number of guys over there over the course of our deployment. And I came back, and I remember that alcohol was then my master already. From the get-go, I drank because it allowed me to feel how I wanted to feel. I no longer had to, think about what happened, think about the stress, think about why aren't I good enough, why wasn't it me, why was it them, the feelings, everything that went with it. And a lot of it was feelings and emotions that I didn't recognize until years and years and years later. So, came back, started drinking, rushed into my first marriage. That didn't work. Go figure. Met her, and about 2 months later, we got married. I have a beautiful 15-year-old girl from that relationship that I'm extremely grateful for. Just went through that relationship, my second marriage, just feeling uncomfortable in my own skin. I didn't know how to handle things. Anytime I didn't have substances in my system, I was just miserable. I made sure that everybody knew I was miserable. And, I had accepted that I was an alcoholic and an addict years before that. From the first time I started drinking, my first opiate use was with my first wife back in 2008. And, I fell in love from that. Alcohol, with me on alcohol, I like to drink, get drunk, call the cops on myself and try to fight them. I don't know why, but that or I'm in the corner crying. And, that was just the way I went with life for years and years and years. I ran, shot from the hip, as they say. I did whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and I wasn't worried about consequences. I didn't think about, the wreckage I was leaving in my life. I didn't think about what I was doing to friends and family and loved ones, the concern my parents had for me, my daughter's well-being, any of that. Drugs were easily first and foremost in my life. I put them above everything, even my own physical health. The first marriage ended. I went back to Oklahoma 2010 to try to get some help, went to rehab for the first time, 30 days, and came out of that thinking, okay, I know that I'm an alcoholic and an addict now. You know, I got the drugs out of my system. I'll be all right. You know, the problem solved. That's what I thought. You know, it was the drugs that were the issue. They're out of my system. I don't have any more problems. You know, I'd say about 2 weeks after that, I was in jail for public drunk and assault and battery on a police officer because, once again, I like getting drunk and I like trying to fight cops. And, you know, I came out of jail and my mom was looking at me because my mom helped me get into treatment that first time. And I'll never forget, you know, just saying, you know, why? And honestly, I didn't have an answer. I didn't know, you know. She's asking me why, and it seems like me being the person that was doing these things would be able to tell her it was because of this, it was because of that. At this time in like 2010, 2011, I didn't even realize that it all, you know, I had an idea. I knew I had PTSD. I got diagnosed with that right when I came back from Iraq and had a lot of shame and guilt over that of like, why do I have it? Why does it seem like nobody else has it? You know, what's wrong with me that I got it and it's affecting me in this way, you know? So then I ran from that even more. But so when my mom asked me, I was like, you know, I wanted to be able to give her an answer. And I said, I don't know. You know, I don't know. And, you know, I went for a little while, you know, I got back on Subutex. A lot of people are doing that. And it worked for a little bit. That was my, you know, medication-assisted treatment is a great option for people that aren't ready to quit yet or don't know how to quit yet. But it's better than, you know, doing trank or Fetty or heroin or meth, you know, whatever it is that it is your substance, drinking. I know you don't do Subutex for drinking, but whatever your substance is, if there's medication-assisted treatment out there, it's definitely a better bet than just going with whatever you know, and it worked for about 6 months for me. I was taking it as prescribed for about 6 months. And then, you know, that voice in my head, that's, you know, that was my addiction. That voice in my head told me, you know, this is working, but if you were to start shooting it, it's probably going to work better. So I started shooting Subutex, and, you know, for about a year and a half, it just kind of went from one job to another, could never hold down a job, could never be responsible in my own life, you know, felt like, you know, it was fun to be young and free and not worry about it. And that's when I met my second wife. She got pregnant and basically said, you know, do you want me and the kid, or do you want to keep doing what you're doing? So not by my choice. I mean, it was my choice to say I want you and the kid, but it wasn't my choice to quit. And I tried controlled drinking. I tried, you know, we'd buy a pint of whiskey you know, I quit the Subutex cold turkey, just kicked it. It was miserable. But, you know, my second wife said, you know, I'll buy a pint and you can have a couple shots every night. And I said, all right, cool, you know. And, you know, those couple shots she'd give me were nice until those couple shots got in me. And then I'd be like, oh, let me, you know, do you need something to drink? And I'd run in there, take another swig, or put some water back in the whiskey bottle. Or it was always a way to try to get more. I'd sneak out. You know, I've got a wife and a young daughter at the house at this time. And I'd sneak out, tell her I had, you know, just I'm going to go outside and smoke a cigarette, and run down the street a couple blocks to the liquor store just to go, you know, grab a pint. And it was, I never thought about, this is stupid. Why can't I put, you know, this woman and this kid in front of my own selfish needs? And it just, there was never a thought like that. It never occurred to me that, like, I'm being selfish and self-centered. It never resonated that maybe I myself was the problem. Because I was still thinking it's probably the substances. It's probably X, Y, or Z. As you can tell, probably I've got a lot of codependency in there, my relationship too. So, you know, that second marriage ended up ending. I realized that the second wife was the issue after about 3 years of marriage, and moved back in with my mom. You know, nothing like having 2 ex-wives and 2 kids and moving back into your mom's house. You know, that was a pretty low point. And, you know, it didn't last long, probably about a week until I started shooting heroin again. And my mom found out and said, hey, you got to go. So I went to the Oklahoma City VA multiple times to detox there. It's more of a lockdown psych ward type of detox. It's not anything fancy. You don't get comfort meds. You don't, you know, you go and you kick. And I did that 2 or 3 times in the matter of like 3 months. And every time I'd come out, you know, I kept cutting the substances out of my system. You know, multiple times in my life of using, I cut the substances out of my system, but I never did anything about why I was wanting the substances in the first place. And I kept going back to them, you know, and I was the last one to find out that was the issue. You know, it was unbeknownst to me that I internally had, you know, something going on that made me want these substances. So, in 2016, I left Oklahoma. My dad was living in Albuquerque at the time, and I went out there and tried to detox on his couch. And after a couple of days of not getting sick, because I took stuff out there with me, he said, "Hey, you got to go. Something's got to change." Came back out here to California, rekindled things with my first wife, so to speak, and things were going all right. I was shooting heroin and meth, and we were living with her parents. But all things considered, I wasn't calling the cops on myself, and I wasn't going to jail, and I wasn't alcohol and me do not mix. I'll tell you that. I thought I could shoot heroin and meth like a gentleman, and compared to me drinking, that is the truth. And so let's see, July of 2017 rolls around. I'm out here in California, living in Laguna Niguel, not too far from here, with my first wife, her parents, and my daughter, who was, I don't know, whatever age she was. She's 15 now, so whatever age I was at that time. And it was July 10th of 2017. My first wife had diabetes. She never really took care of them. Anyway, so we woke up July 10th, and she did not wake up. My daughter and her slept in the same bed. My daughter said, "Dad, I can't get mom up." I said, "Okay." So I go in there and, try to do CPR for, I don't know how long it was. I had a buddy there, and he called 911 and stuff, and they showed up, and, they walked in and came out and said, "She's gone," and it turns out that she had passed away from her kidneys failing in the middle of the night. Diabetic ketoacidosis, more or less, is what it was, and kidney failure. And I remember that's where, I was using before because I liked how I felt using. And then after that date, I remember walking by the mirror later that day and just these emotions just welling up inside me and going, "Oh, I can't have this. I cannot have this." And it just felt so foreign to feel such strong emotions about something. So immediately my use just went off a cliff at that point. That ended up me being homeless in Santa Ana, California. Shout out to Santana Way. And, I spent from beginning of 2018 until September 9th of 2021, running around the streets, staying in hotels, staying at friends' apartments, staying in the tent on the tracks over off Chestnut and Grand, lots of wild nights. I never thought that I was that bad because I never had a tent on the tracks, but I'd go to my friends' tents and, didn't have a place. Met baby mama number 3. I've got 4 daughters total for anybody that's keeping count out there. And, just doing what I wanted to do, running with the homies, doing a lot of illegal stuff. I had resigned myself. I was like, I'm an addict. I'll die an addict. Not a big deal. Not thinking about consequences of that. Once again, not thinking about family, not thinking about my own well-being. And it worked for a while. The drugs kept getting more and more. I kept needing them more and more often, higher amounts. And, I thought it is what it is. Something will eventually happen. Every time in those 3.5, 4 years, I think I had 17 total arrests. And, I'd go to jail and I was like, cool, 3 hots and a cot, even though they're not hot meals. But jail was never an issue for me because it was a landing zone. I'd go in there, I'd, kick for a couple days, get on Subutex, whatever it was, and then get kicked out. And I'd go right back to it because I didn't have anything else to go do. I had nowhere else to go. So September 9th, 2021, I was at a Travelodge Hacienda at the end of the 55 there, Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa. And I had been on probation, on the run. I had 17 open cases, a couple felonies, and Santa Ana police did a probation sweep and found me. Got arrested, and it was weird because I got put... When I first came downstairs and there was cops with guns drawn, I was like, man, these motherfuckers don't know who I am. Oh, sorry if I cuss. These guys don't know who I am. How dare they? I hadn't gotten my fix yet that day. I hadn't taken care of anything. I had my truck there. All these material possessions of the world were what was my concern, not me or what was about to happen to me. It was well, what's going to happen to my truck? And I have belongings here and that there and all this stuff, And I remember getting put in the back of the cop car. And at the time, a sense of relief came over me and I didn't know why. I was like, well, I feel kind of comfortable about this. Maybe it's just because I'm used to going to jail by now. And, I'll later find out that was, the first sign of God kind of putting his hand on me. I get locked up thinking I'm going to get a kick after a couple of days because COVID stuff was still going on. And, they said, you're not getting out. You can't bail out. You're not getting out till you handle all your cases. We're done messing with you. We're done you coming in and out. I used to forge treatment acceptance letters just so I could go to court and then just hand that to my public defender and then get kicked that day because they thought I was actually going to go to treatment. Never happened. So, there's an organization out here called Tyranny Center that helps the veterans. There's a lady, Jade Smith, Veterans Outreach Specialist. she holds a special place in my heart because she came into the Humvee unit there at Orange County Jail where there's veterans and basically said, hey, if you want some help, I can get you some help. And I was like, of course I do. And then she came back the week after and she said, if you want some help, I can get you some help. And I think she was waiting for me to actually like show that I wanted some help instead of just saying, yeah, get me some help, get me out of here, So I was there for about 2 months, from September 9th till November 15th. November 15th, I get released to her. Basically, they released me to her custody because she had gotten me a scholarship through Care Possible, which is an organization that helps veterans with, they scholarship veterans to go to treatment. They scholarship veteran families to go to treatment. They also do counseling and therapy for veterans and their families, free of charge, nothing to me, nothing to the veterans. So if anybody ever needs help, go check out Care Possible. So I got released and taken up to First Steps Recovery up in Fresno, California, where I did 90 days, 30 days inpatient. I kicked, and I remember day 8 of my kick, feeling miserable, telling all the staff there they're idiots. How dare they? I need to stay. I have PTSD. I need to stay on it for a year because, if I stay on Subutex for a year, then I'll have handled all my issues, and then I can work on, tapering and all this and all that, all these things that my mind was telling me, and nothing worked, And I had those thoughts over the course of my addiction of like, I need to get high. That was a familiar thought. That my little voice in my head telling me, dude, you got to find a way to get high. That was every day, It was that thought of like, I can't do this anymore. That was kind of the scary, unfamiliar thing. It was that I'm going to go through treatment again. I'm going to, kick ass at treatment like I have every other time I've gone. And then I'm going to get out not knowing what to do. That was a scary, scary thought for me. And I was laying in bed that day and I just started praying. I just said, Father, in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, please take my addiction away. Father, I said it over and over for about 10 minutes and I got physical goosebumps that day. And I feel that is the day God saved me. Ever since then, I feel like the mental obsession and the compulsion to use and drink and get outside of self has been lifted from me. And I can't attribute that to anything other than God's grace, unconditional love by God. There's still days that, I get tired and don't want to be an adult. There's still days I don't want responsibility. There's still days I don't want to handle things, but I'll say over the past almost 2 years, it's through an active course of recovery. I go to a bunch of 12-step meetings. I go to a bunch of support group meetings. I work with other alcoholics and take them through the steps, just like my sponsor took me through the steps. Volunteer opportunities. I attend church regularly. And through all that, I can say that God has given me a extremely blessed life, considering, almost 2 years or a little over 2 years ago, I was homeless on the streets of Santa Ana, didn't have anything to show for my life, and today I can say that, I've purchased a property out here in California. I'm extremely grateful. I have a woman in my life that we put God first in our relationship and then each other, and just giving 100% to somebody else, not because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do, but because that's what feels natural to do with somebody, is an amazing experience. I've got full custody of my 2 youngest daughters today. I see my oldest daughter regularly. God has given me a life that, I always hear people say, you get a life beyond your wildest dreams. And I've heard people say, oh, I had some wild dreams. You don't know, I had wild dreams. God has given me a life that I didn't know I wanted. God has given me things, simple things in my life of responsibility and just being a godly man that I never knew were possible for me because I didn't know what that meant, And I'll say for anybody that's out there struggling is just reach out. If you've got 10 days and you're struggling today, find somebody that's got 2 days and go help them. See where you can be of service, constantly be of service, because that's still the only thing to this day that keeps me out of my head sometimes, is just trying to find somebody else to work with, because it's easy for me to get caught in self and think that, oh, I need to do this, or I need, a new car, or I need this job, or I need this, the things of this world, when the reality of it is I don't need any of that. I just need to see where I can help another alcoholic or addict today, and that gets me out of self, and that gives me a better perspective of my own life. I also say that there's a lot of good books out there outside of recovery stuff that have helped me just about on my spiritual journey and my connection with God in a way that, knowledge is power, and continuing to learn and do stuff for your mental health, whether it's movement and going to the gym regularly, making sure you're eating healthy, just constantly learning or doing something for mindfulness so that you're just present and in the moment. There's a lot of activities out there. Recovery's fun. Recovery is really fun, and I love the life that I have today. I think that's my 20 minutes pretty much.
Is that 20?
Yeah, just about.
A little under.
I was
I was really enjoying that.
Yeah, so was I. I could have gone another 7-10 minutes for sure.
what was it, like four
Four?
or three or four.
Great story. Really, you know what it is? Just a real red-blooded American fucking story there. You know what I mean? Went to war, battled, came back, got fucked up.
You know, you
found
were like
a
our
woman.
first, just so everybody knows, Luke was actually our second guest ever on the Hopeaholics podcast.
This is true.
The first episode was never released, so he was the first episode ever released.
I said in on the first episode.
Yes, you did.
But yeah.
The first episode was probably one of the most amazing episodes to never get released.
It was a good one.
The reason why this podcast exists, if y'all don't know, I lost my son-in-law. It will be 1 year on Monday. This coming Monday, it will be 1 year since my 21-year-old daughter found him dead in his room. The very first podcast that we did was me, Shane, and my daughter.
Yep.
My 21-year-old daughter. She was 22. She's 22 now.
Yeah.
Almost going to be 23 in December. But we do have a very special podcast coming out on Monday, 9/11. We had the Persian medium in here. And I can't deal with these two. They're like talking to each other right now.
I wasn't.
I just looked at
I
it.
don't know what they're doing.
I'm looking at the people.
Just so you know, like, we're all friends, so it's a little bit weirder.
Yeah, I'm looking at the people in the camera right here. I don't know why you're looking at me. I look at the people here.
We have a really special
shaped beard
episode coming out.
I did that
I was
today.
about to get emotional. You jerk.
Oh, shit, I'm sorry.
A very special episode. We had the Persian medium, myself and my daughter, and she brought Justin back into the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to say that that's what happened. Whether I believe it or don't believe it is, you know.
I do. I'm a believer of that stuff, bro. I always have
I'm
been.
not so much of a believer of that stuff, but
I
can
have
tell
to be
you,
because it makes me feel better.
Is Natalie muted? Can you unmute her? I will tell you that whether it was real or not, it was real enough for me that there was a lot of tears. There was a lot of crying. There was a lot of emotion. There was a lot of healing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pain. It was amazing. So that episode's actually going to be released on Monday, which is exactly 1 year from his death. Now I want to move on, though, to my most favorite part, unless Natalie. Do I call her Natalie? It says Eva Marie on her thing.
Eva.
Right there.
Yeah, Eva.
Hi, Eva.
You can call me whatever you want, whatever is whatever you're feeling today. But all three names work.
Okay.
Luke, thank you so much for your share. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for Monday's Hopeaholics podcast because, like you said, even if you don't believe it, I mean, it's just kind of what we say in meetings and everything like that, you know. As long as you believe in something, and that's all that really matters in the sense of your higher power or whatnot. So
I think that's.
I know you said you don't believe in that stuff, Chad, but I believe that there's some type of energy in that room for that podcast. Hence why you guys were able to connect and get emotional and have that experience, you know?
Yeah. It was really, it's, I'm just looking forward to everybody taking a moment and watching that podcast. Cause it is, regardless of what anybody thinks, it's a very special podcast to me, to my family, to my daughter. You know, there was a lot of healing there. Y'all get to meet my daughter too. She's, her name's Aurora. You know, she's amazing. Yeah, she's been through a lot.
Yeah, I went to a medium.
I saw Donna on here a minute ago, but she disappeared.
I see a question over there from a Jennifer. So how did I deal with my codependency? I learned to love myself, is what it was. I stopped thinking that being in a relationship was going to make me happy or solve my problems. I learned through a lot of therapy that rushing into relationships and trying to find women that I thought I could save had to deal with a lot of the loss of friends in Iraq. So, you know, it's all tied to different things, but for me, it was just learning to love myself.
Awesome. That was actually a really good answer.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I could tell you've done some definite work on that codependency there.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I actually liked the way you spoke about your girlfriend, even when you first got here. Just so everybody knows, Peter went and picked us up Popeyes a little while ago, and Luke refused to eat Popeyes because his girlfriend
She meal preps for
she
me.
meal preps for him.
Yeah.
Nice.
What?
Yeah, lucky Luke.
I'm extremely blessed.
Lucky Luke.
Peter's wife meal preps for him
Yeah.
too, but
Mine doesn't.
he and I want to open it up for sharing. I just wanted to wrap Peter out real quick.
So it's Peter's fault. You guys ate Popeyes? That's what it was?
No, it's Shane's fault. Shane
I
was
believe
like,
that.
"Yeah, Popeyes."
Popeyes.
All
Great
right,
chicken
so I like to open it up for sharing because it's like totally my favorite part of the meeting. I love Luke, but I love hearing from you guys even more. It's what makes my night, and it's the reason why Luke shows up to meetings like this, and our guests show up. So, if you guys want to share, go ahead and raise your virtual hand. If nobody raises their virtual hand,
Caesar, because you guys, my marriage is going to survive.
what was I going to say? If nobody opens raises their
Caesar, I'd say you might think it's because of these guys that your marriage is going to survive, but it's probably because of something you heard here that gave you some self-realization that allowed you to do some work that's going to make your marriage survive. So give yourself some credit there.
Our boys on tonight too.
Fire.
All right, it's open. Meeting is open. If nobody raises their hand, Luke, you get to pick.
All right, I like that. Somebody. I know somebody's got something to say.
Our boy right. Oh, let me go over the rules real quick. I always forget to go over the rules. You get 3 minutes. Did he show you which button to push? Okay, at the 3-minute mark, you will hear this button.
Yeah, first time.
When you hear that button, that means it's time to wrap it up. And don't take any offense to it. We're not cutting you off. If you really need to keep going though, just let me know.
Yeah.
We'll let you go.
It's hot in here.
It's really hot.
I know for some reason the air conditioner turns off at 6 o'clock.
My ears are sweating.
All right.
You're
This
right.
meeting is open.
All right.
Go ahead and unmute that guy. It's our man right there. Where you been?
You guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear
We
you
got
now.
you.
How you guys doing? I've been into so many sports and talking to my grandpa. He just turned 94, like 5 days before my birthday. I turned 40 on the 27th.
Nice. Happy birthday.
Thank you. And my I consider him to be my little brother. It's my niece's baby dad. He decided for himself to check himself into a rehab, the same rehab program that I went to before I actually got paralyzed. A couple of days ago, I think on Sundays when he went, and they do a 30-day, what they call a blackout period, where you have to, they lock up your phone and all your electronics, so that way you can't try to get anything on the outside and whatnot, which is good. And I'm really proud of him. And I was wondering if you guys could say a quick prayer for Jesus to take alcohol out of his life and make him not want it anymore.
Yeah, buddy. What's his name?
His name's Daniel.
All right, yeah. I'll say a prayer for him. All right, God, we just come to you tonight to thank you for Daniel. Thank you for his sacrifice to be able to go into treatment and try to get some help for himself and for his family, Lord. We just lift him up to you and dedicate, this new journey of his life to you so that he can come out and, be a witness to the grace that you give and to what he can you can do in others' lives, Lord. We just pray this for Daniel and in your son's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, guys.
Great job. I get nervous doing stuff like that. Great job, bro.
We're going to work on that, Shane.
Yeah, great job.
See, now I know why.
Yeah,
they put me on
fantastic.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Yeah, amen.
Amen.
That was part of it right there.
Hey, you go to the Father, I go to the Son. It's
You're
all
right. That's fine. That's fine. I can still say the word
Yeah.
Jesus. Who's next?
All right.
Somebody's got to have something. Come on.
Liz. Let's just grab Liz. She's next in line. Liz.
Yeah.
Liz is looking like she needs to say something. Liz. Liz Pepper.
Yes.
Hi, Liz. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm Shane. This is Chad. This is Luke. How are you? Everything all right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Nice.
I think I spoke to you briefly, Shane, the other day.
Yes.
I have a 27-year-old who overdosed on fentanyl mid-July.
Yes.
He's still alive, but he's in the hospital in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yes.
He's been there for 6 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
And he can't walk. Like all of his organs came back to life. You know, he had heart failure, kidney failure, all that, went through dialysis, but he had like compartment syndrome from the kidney failure. So his legs were cut open and now they're sewn back, but he's not able to walk.
Damn.
And he has because he's 27, he got taken off my benefits at 26.
Yeah.
He has no benefits, now he's not working. And I'm trying not to enable, he's been in and out of rehabs for the last 8 years. Starting with like Xanax, and I went to heroin. Now he snorts, went from snorting Roxy, so he just snorts fentanyl. Now he crunches them in a straw and snorts them. And he does really well in rehab. He's been in a ton of them, but as soon as he gets out, it's like 2 weeks. I've let him come back to my house in between. Now he's begging me to come back to my house, but he can't even stand up yet, you know, and I don't trust him coming here. I think he'll like overdose now that he's actually, you know, in pain. He can't walk. So I wanted to ask if anybody knew of anywhere that he has like a Medicaid application pending, and he can't walk, but I'm thinking lately that maybe it's God's gift for him to hit a bottom, because if he could walk, he may walk out of the hospital and get more drugs and die. I don't think he's surrendered. He admitted he hasn't surrendered, and he only worked the 12 steps back like 8 years ago, and he had a first sobriety for a year and a half when he was like 19, but now he's 27, and ever since the opioids, he's been to year-long places all over Florida, Alabama, North Carolina, Greensboro, Asheville, and he just keeps relapsing. But this time it's like a miracle he was alive. He was dead for like 9 minutes and they brought him back. He still has full brain function, but he can't walk yet. And he believes that the AA 12 steps will help him, not so much the NA steps, because he said they don't work the steps for like a year. He's like AA better, even though he's addicted to drugs, not really into alcohol. But like, I just don't know what to do with him. Like, I've been in Al-Anon for years, since like his first rehab. They highly recommended me to do Al-Anon, so I did it. I got a sponsor. I worked the steps. I even went to substance abuse counseling school because I wanted to understand and help him. I never became a counselor. I just sponsor people in Al-Anon now, but I still, I'm just exhausted. I'm just, whenever he's out and using, whenever he's not in like incarcerated in some kind of rehab, he uses within a few weeks and crashes cars. He's never been in jail and this is the worst physical consequences he's ever had. But I'm just like reaching out anywhere. Like, I don't know how to help him. Well, and I've not enabled. So he's like pulling the card now, like, you're abandoning me. All I have is you and my girlfriend, and I want to come home and heal with my dogs and at your house. But every time he comes to my house, I'm like, you can't even stand up. You can't even make it to the bathroom.
I mean, and so, the hard reality of that is that, as harsh as this may sound right now, like, he put himself in that position because of choices he made. You can tell that you love him, and I can tell you from personal experience that the best thing my mom ever did for me was kick me out when I was using drugs, because otherwise I would have, who knows where I would have been. I would say definitely try to find somewhere out there, a sober living or something. I agree. I do AA 12 steps. That's 99% of all my meetings are AA. I know that alcohol is my first thing. A solution to a problem is a solution to a problem. It doesn't matter if they focus on alcohol, drugs, whatever it is. You find your tribe and you get locked into it and you do the work.
Is there traveling AA meetings? Luke, could we get AA to him and start the ball rolling there? I mean, they do that, don't they?
Yeah, there's a app called Meeting Finder on, you can download it from Apple, Google, whatever it is. And it'll tell you, you can say in person, online, AA, NA, PA, HA, CA, any of the meetings you want, and it'll tell you in your area, where there's meetings, what time. And then there's always a meeting going on, whether it's in person or online.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I tell him that he's just not, he's like lying in bed depressed. I bought,
Yeah.
He's like, I'll work the steps when I get to the next place, Mom. He's like willing to go to this sober place we found in South Carolina at any length, and you pay like 1 month and then they get them a job immediately, but he can't go there until he's physically strong enough to work. Like they don't take you if you're like, not physically able. But he said, I'm willing to do that. I'll wait to do the steps. I was like, well, what are you doing for your brain while you're stuck in hospital?
Does he know anybody from like wherever he's at in the hospital? Has he ever worked a program of recovery there?
Oh yeah, he's been in Asheville in rehab since November.
So I imagine he's got somebody's phone number that's in recovery there.
Oh yeah, he has recovery people coming to visit him.
Yeah, he needs to tell one of them he's ready to start steps. Get into the work.
I know, but he's like won't start the steps. I'm like, what else do you have to do? Then even his recovery people are coming in like, yeah, when I hit my bottom, I sat there and started reading the big book for real, like, and doing the steps. Yeah, he hasn't, so he won't. I can't make him, but he's just,
that's
it's
tough.
Hard watching your kid he's like really shrunk tough. Like 100 pounds and.
Yeah. Well, we're here for you, and I actually, you and I DM'd earlier. I think it was this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
So stay in touch with me. I'll pull out whatever resources I can find to continue to help you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. It's what I do. All right, let's go on to pick somebody. Pick an amazing person.
Timmy,
okay.
Timmy Long and is that somebody another hand or is that
what? No,
there's a hand up.
No, that's our buddy. Oh, did you want to share again? He wants to finish his share. Shane.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I cut him off?
Cut him off. I think.
Damn.
I believe that.
Did I do that?
No, way to go, Shane.
I usually cut people off with my car, not verbally. Sorry.
I think we stopped.
You cut people off with your car. That's a good one.
Hey, buddy.
You guys can hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
So that story, that really, really, really hit home with me because of my story. Is that lady still in the audience?
Yes, sir.
Yes, she is.
All right. So my name is Wesley. I became paralyzed from the neck down from shooting heroin. I was driving while right before I got paralyzed. I was driving. I was able to pull off to the side of the road, put it in park. 60 seconds later, I was fully paralyzed from the neck down. I fell in between the two front seats onto my hands and knees. I was stuck like that for about 15 to 20 minutes. Thank God my girlfriend at the time was with me, and she put me in the back seat and drove me the rest of the like 10th of a mile, if that, to the hospital, which I was actually driving to for back pain. Anyway, long story short with that, I was in the ICU at Harborview in Seattle for 3.5 weeks on a ventilator. 2.5 weeks after that, the only thing I could control or move or use up to that point was my eyes. I had to communicate with my eyes in an alphabet chart with 5 columns and 5 rows, starting with A in the corner, and it had A from A to Z. And I would move my eyes up and down and left to right to communicate what letter I wanted to get to form words and eventually form sentences. And for a month straight on a ventilator, that's how I had to communicate with my family and my friends and my nurses. 2.5 weeks after that, God restored the use of both my arms, but both my hands are still paralyzed. And God granted me and grants me the ability to use the first 2 knuckles on my left hand to operate and control my entire iPad as well as voice detection. 1 week after I gained the use of my arms, I overdosed on heroin twice while I was in the hospital. It was only then that I got sober off heroin, and due to the fact that I'm paralyzed, and everything that happened like that. And I've died 4 times within a year and a half of me getting paralyzed. And I attempted suicide 5 times in 2018, one of which killed me, and another time it should have killed me. But that's my story. But it literally, that's what it took for me to get the message and the hint that God loves me and that I actually do have a purpose in this world. And if I could have the guys pray for your son, I'm sure you can hop back on and let us know his name and have the guys pray for him, because prayer works, and it's what brought me back to life when Jesus brought me back to life. And prayer is powerful, and I really think that's what he needs right now.
Thank you, Wesley. We appreciate you. I knew that when she was sharing, that was going to resonate with you. That was going to hit home for you. All right. Thanks again for sharing. And we'll say a prayer at the end of the meeting for your son.
Definitely.
Who do you want to pick next?
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Nobody else wants to raise their hand?
What about Michelle? She looks like she's doing something fun.
Oh, we got her.
Michelle, what are you doing?
Minding my business, staying out of trouble. I'm just kidding. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay. I was just checking my raggedy speaker. Hi, everyone. Michelle, alcoholic addict. Luke, the whole time I was just like, why is this man telling my story? Thank you for your share and your honesty and keeping it real about the mental health and all of that stuff. I was in the Air Force. I was trained as a medic, but I was a med tech in the clinic because I followed my ex-husband's job. But I was an Air Force medic for 7 years. I was stationed at Tinker in Oklahoma City. Yeah. So I love Oklahoma, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with mental health issues, and that is hard. But when I came to believe that God was real and looking out for my little heathen ass, I started like taking therapy seriously and wanting mental health help, and I kind of just grew like mentally. I'm not raising either of my children. My son just turned 15 in August. My daughter is 6.5, and it's hard not having them and not raising them. But I wasn't able to raise them because I was still fucked up because of my own childhood and then the things that I spent in the Air Force. So the first 25 years of my life was abuse and then just unnecessary stress. So I wasn't able to be an adult. But with therapy, rehab, I've been to 3 rehabs. I've completed 2 of them. One was Miramar Health, which is in Mission Viejo, California, and it's for veterans only. A guy who was a retired Marine, and it's veterans only, and the VA pays for it. That was a really nice experience, and that was after my daughter went back to her foster mother, and who's legally adopting her. But through all of that, my spiritual awakening and coming to sobriety was more like waking up from a coma. It was like long going. But going to therapy, coming to meetings, hearing other people's stories who are just like me and seeing how well they're doing is what keeps me fun. Thank you for picking on me and let me have some more seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle. Let's move right on over. Yeah. Is that Rachel right there? Yeah, that's Rachel's. She was doing homework earlier, but let's see if she's ready to talk, ready to share.
Hi. Yes, I'm still doing homework, but yeah, give me a second to think. Okay. So Luke, I can totally identify with what you spoke about when it comes to codependency. For years, codependency and searching for anyone that I thought would be the one to make me happy. Like, I struggled with that. And even when my husband came into my life, I wasn't healthy. I was still using. He began using with me. We were both drinking all the time, and we had some issues whenever I quit. I thought he quit. He didn't quit. Then he got a DUI, and then he did quit. And like, we did some marriage counseling. And yeah, now looking back, I think for me, I'm not a veteran as much as I wanted to be. I'm not. type 1 diabetic. They told me I couldn't take insulin shots in the war. Anyway, I came from a family full of alcoholics that were also seeking love from the outside. And then once I did get clean and have started like investigating maybe what some of the things were that happened before the addiction, I can see that I followed that same path, that same pattern that most of the women in my family followed. And by being honest with my husband and he and I talking about it, I am able to mostly have a healthy relationship now. I mean, you know, that beast in my head still sometimes surfaces, and he and I can clash like terribly because we know how to hit each other's buttons. But I think that, like you've said so much tonight, all of you, like Jesus saved me. I OD'd in 2011 and God woke me up. They didn't use Narcan. I mean, my kid found me, had to call 911. She was taken, but that was, I mean, you would think that would be the moment when I'm like, well, there it is. But that didn't happen. I kept trying and trying to just let God take me. And he said, no, not right now. Like, now's not the time. And then when I did I stopped the heroin and cocaine use. And then a year later, I stopped meth. And a few years after that, it was alcohol. It was like peeling that onion. And like you said, I have things now I never knew I wanted. Like, I got plain old problems, not am I getting my next high. So I really liked your share tonight, Luke. My dad was a Vietnam vet. We lost him. And I just thank everyone that has made that sacrifice. So thank you for your service.
Appreciate
That's all I got.
It was a great share.
Yeah, it really was.
I have a name for my wife when she goes off the deep end. You have a name for your girlfriend?
She's
Amy.
Amy? Mine's Crazy Mary. It's my wife's name. When she goes kind of off, I go, hey, Mary. Hey, how are you, Mary? Chad, you got a name for your wife?
My wife never goes off the deep end.
Wow, you are lucky guy. Lucky guy.
Unconditional love.
Wow,
Love
bro.
them unconditionally.
Wow.
Never go off the deep end there.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm learning. I'm newly 15 years married, bro. You know.
How about the lovely lady that is grabbing something from the seat?
Andrea Fitzgerald?
Yes. What is that?
It's
Is that like a piece of chicken or?
Chip.
Oh, it's a chip. Oh yeah, perfect. Let's have her share.
First eat the chip and then call on her.
No, is it a potato chip?
It's my friend made these for me. Hey, and thank you. Oh my goodness gracious. Like I hear all of everything, and I have to say, no disrespect, although I'm not a combat vet, I am a full spectrum doula in Washington, and my work is non-medical support, and I'm a peer counselor for veterans. I grow pot for veterans, although I don't smoke it anymore because I'm too sensitive and getting too old. But you know, like I hear all these stories, and I can't help but say it's a bit triggering, and so like working through reflection in a mirror. I'm eating a freaking fig, sesame, gluten-free, funny thing. But
Natalie eats funny things like that.
I used to make them when I had, you know, anyway. I just I hear all these lovely stories, and I'm a first responder in my community, and you know, like I do the work. Like I'm not like a veteran, I'm not military, but I do it within like again my community, and you know, like what they call removals, you know, like people from the ME, like I set up people for witness cremations, you know, all of it. Like I just washed a little boy's hair that died, and I don't like the word passed or lost. I hear you guys say that, but like they died. a little 9-year-old, and I washed his hair and put a beanie on his head because he came from the ME, and the ME out here, they cut you and cut your head like a coconut. And we put a beanie on him, and I washed again. I'm just saying, like, I'm not quite sure if I should have been called upon.
Andrea, I'd say it sounds like you have a lot going on in your life on a daily basis, and I'd say just make sure that you're doing something to take care of yourself, because you spend a lot of energy taking care of other people, and you need to make sure that you're doing something that you have a way to release some of that you take on through work and helping other people.
Absolutely. I'm a hospice volunteer in 3 counties. I know self-care. I teach self-care. But this is what I did for myself, if everybody wants to know. My purse, I don't like purses, but I'm sitting outside the Goodwill so I can listen to your podcast now. But I bought myself a couple of leather purses so I don't lose my wallet, and continue on. And I'm all good, but it's just, oh gosh, goodness gracious, I want to say, the stories that I hear are very much the same, and I find this is a beautiful community, and I'm grateful every Monday, yay, but I hear all of it, and I have my own significant trauma, but I'm not a vet. I'm a chick that has been here taking care of when the vets go away, and I might need to shut it down, but I don't mean to be rude or any way disrespect, but oh my goodness, it's
I think we're all glad you hopped on tonight to join us for this.
Yeah, and we validate everyone's feelings. Yeah. You don't have to be a vet or anything.
No,
we kind of get the picture that you go through stuff and like everyone else, and we appreciate what you do.
Yeah, and it's a place where you can come and share whatever you want to share.
This is a safe place.
It's a safe place for everyone.
Yeah, man.
So I highly recommend anybody on this platform to. I wasn't done talking. No disrespect, but active listening and silence is good. I'm out.
All right.
Bye.
I didn't mean to offend her.
All righty. What do we have next? We got 4 minutes, and I'm gonna pick on Natalie to share to close this out.
Yeah.
I love this meeting. Luke, I absolutely loved your share, in the sense of what I liked about it too is that it just shows the resilience of continuing on and getting to where you are today. And I think that's super important and super powerful. I've heard a lot of people on here who have, relapse is part of my story as well, but it's one of those things where once you grab a hold of it, and I do the 12 steps, and Alcoholics Anonymous is my 12-step recovery as well. All of a sudden, your life does, as cliche, the boys have heard me say it all the time, is all the little cliche things that you hear when you first enter and walk into meetings is so annoying at first when I walked in, and then all of a sudden, it is proof in the pudding. You could hear it in your testimony tonight of just how much work you've put in, and that's the power of the program. And I think that's huge. I also love this meeting because it's not your traditional AA meeting. It's where you get to hear from mothers, parents, siblings, spouses, because as an alcoholic and addict myself, you put your family through the ringer. And I think for anybody that is dealing with a loved one that has an alcohol or addiction problem, being able to come to something like this and be able to share their emotions and what they're feeling is super important as well. And it also makes me constantly remind where now it's like a living amends. You know, I get to show up for my parents. I talk to them daily. They're everything to me. They're my heroes. But, you know, that little voice in the back of my head, you know, I have that guilt of all the stuff that myself and my brothers put my parents through. But it is crazy what happens when you reach out, you ask for help, and you start doing the work. It is a simple program, but the shit is hard, and I hate doing it. Even though I have the life beyond my wildest dreams, I still hate doing it. It's just like with anything. Nothing comes easy. You have to really want it, and you have to do it for yourself. And I also love what you said about the codependency. So myself, Jonathan is my husband, and in October, we'll be celebrating 10 years of marriage. And the one thing this is my first healthy relationship. And one thing that I have to say is I don't rely on him to make me happy. It's impossible. You're basically setting yourself up to fail, because nothing, no material thing or a person can't make you happy, because it relies on yourself. He can bring me joy, but happiness truly comes when I'm doing all the things that I know that need to be done. Meaning, am I doing my prayers? Am I doing my meditation? Am I hitting my sponsor, checking in with her, doing all the things that I know that I need to do to quiet my crazy brain down? Because I have two personalities. I have two little things, and that bitch wants to take me out every single day. She's in the gym 24/7. There's no quit in that bitch. She's trying to literally take me out. So if I'm not on my game and making sure that I'm doing what I need to be doing, you know, then that voice gets a little bit louder. And that's when things start to get a little bit not the best. And that's when things can start getting chaotic. So it's showing up to meetings like this, being of service, and getting out of yourself, like you shared, Luke. That's why I loved it so much, because not only can I relate, but it also reiterates all the things that all of us need to be doing if we want to stay on that path of sobriety, which ultimately is the goal. So thank you again for your service, and thank you for sharing tonight. It was incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Natalie. I mean, I just like the shares, man. The shares tonight and every night, but tonight, like Luke shares start kicking it off, and it just reminds you of the simple things. Because, like, you know, the further you get away from your last use, your last your last day, you can forget, man. You can forget
easily
how painful it was that day, and then all of a sudden start thinking how stressful life really is today.
Totally.
You know, because, like, we actually do get these lives, right? Like, I have a life today, you know, and honestly, my life, I can actually say that I have a life beyond my wildest dreams. I have a wife that I batted out of my league. I have, you know, I own a home in Southern California. I run a business. I have this podcast. I mean, all these things, right? And it's like, man, I'm really truly blessed. And I put something out on the Hopeaholics today that you know, if you change your perception of things, the things that you see change.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. 100%.
And that's the truth, because, like, and that's why I do this meeting, is because I need a reminder too that from Luke, who's, you know, 2 years sober, and, like, is a homeowner in Southern California. Like, what the fuck? That's not easy to do. You know, and he's got a new life and a new girlfriend. And I've watched him just over the last, like, 6 months, and seen the growth.
Yeah.
I mean, he came in today and he seemed like a totally different person.
Totally different guy.
The only thing I will say is he's doing a lot of fitness posts lately.
Yes.
Did you notice
I
that?
noticed that.
Trying to build up clientele.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're going to do online coaching.
So we're doing in-person coaching.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So my girlfriend has a yoga studio out in Riverside, California. Anybody wants to check it out? Infinite Love Yoga on the Instas.
Nice.
She also
Infinite Love
she does,
Yoga.
Yeah, she does triggered movement stuff similar to what Next Level Fitness does. And then she also does sound bath stuff. So,
Nice.
Very cool.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so we're doing
Sounds to
personal
me
fitness
like
stuff,
you
and then
batted out of your league there.
Oh,
huh?
definitely.
Good for
Oh,
you.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. That's cool.
So she's
That's
an
a good
amazing
time.
woman. Amazing godly
Wow.
woman.
God-loving woman.
So
Wow. Good for you. That's awesome.
I just want you guys to notice if you look at your screen, I'm not going to call her out or anything, but there is a picture of me and somebody on the screen that may or may not be my wife.
hi, wifey.
Logged on to the Zoom. That's actually what I have her name in my contacts on my phone. It just says wifey. So I don't even know what her real name is. Just kidding. It's Donna. Anyway, so can we scroll
Yeah,
down
Michael,
because,
Michael Pepper.
Yeah, we put the.
That's Michael. That's his mom. We're going to say a prayer for Michael.
Yep. Are you going to do it, Shane?
Keep him in the hospital. Let him sit there. You know I get nervous praying. Should I pray?
Huh? Give
Should
it
I
a
pray?
try.
All right, I'll give it a try. I'm not very good at this.
Keep going. Keep going. Where is it?
So
It's down, Michael.
The key of prayer is you don't think about what you're praying.
Yeah, whatever.
Just-
Thanks, buddy, for telling me how to pray. Appreciate it. Now you
I
make
can tell
me
you're already
even
getting your
feel-
head about it.
I'm nervous. Do you see the sweat dripping down? God, please keep Michael in your light, in your thoughts, and let him be in our dreams this evening, and let us think of him walking and happy and getting married and having children one day and making himself happy and proud and being able to stand upright and be a leader in this community and a pillar on the earth, God. And we want to pray for Michael and give him the best we can. And if he's got to take a little piece of me, God, and I can have a bad day or two, that's fine also. I'll give up a couple days for Michael, and God, please have him in your thoughts this evening. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Shane.
Well done, Shane.
Wow.
He held his breath the whole
dripping.
time.
I am
And he
dripping.
really is dripping sweat.
I am
The
right
Holy
now.
dripping.
Spirit speaking through you.
Wow.
But
How that works.
Wow.
You did great, Shane.
Palms are sweating.
he did a really good job, and some
Wow.
people even turned on their screens after.
Thanks, guys.
Donna, do you want to
You
turn
did
on your
awesome.
screen? Give Shane a little thumbs up.
Come on, Donna.
I just want to say,
She's quickly getting dressed right now.
I just wanna
Donna,
thank
what are you
guys
throwing
for
on?
letting me,
Quick.
join this
Donna,
space
throw
with you.
something on, Donna.
She's gonna,
Yeah.
Or
shout out
don't
to
throw
Donna.
anything on, Donna.
she's gonna kill me when I get home, dude. Don't be messing with
Shout
that.
out
Come on, Donna.
I-
Shout out to Donna.
I like Donna coming onto my Zoom meeting. It
God,
makes me
I'm
happy.
telling you, man, I'm really hot
I know.
right now. I want to
Now
keep going.
I need to get on Jonathan because Donna is in here representing.
Oh
and
look, John,
where
you got
is
the heart.
Jonathan?
Donna put a heart.
Oh, there
You
we
got
go.
something, Shane.
Yeah, nice.
You got something, and now
Nice.
she's giving you a thumbs up.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, good. Look, she's good at that.
Yeah,
That's
she's
cool.
got. She knows how. Dude, one day we didn't know she was on, and she actually was on, and she had turned herself into a rabbit.
Oh, really?
And she was a rabbit on the screen, and I saw the eyes of the rabbit blinking, which
Blinking.
were actually her eyes.
Wow. Oh,
So-
she was the person.
Yeah, she was the
Oh,
rabbit.
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
so-
nice.
A couple people left before the miracle happened. I hope
Yeah.
that I hope that they're okay.
There's the rabbit.
There's the rabbit. See, I got home and she was like, "You couldn't like see me, right?" And I was like, "No, you looked like a rabbit."
Oh, she
See,
just
I-
blinked.
she blinked.
just blinked.
Yeah, you see it? It
Yeah.
blinks.
Flare,
Anyways,
flare your nostrils, Donna.
anyways,
Oh.
that's my wife. She's an amazing woman. She's the reason why.
We love Donna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's not here.
Oh, so you, the two of you, Shane, you need to talk to Marin,
Yeah.
and
Jonathan.
if you guys need me to text them, I can,
Yeah, I don't think so.
and have them come
Yeah, I
join
don't
the
know, I don't
meeting.
know
Thanks,
about
buddy.
that. I don't know
Appreciate
about
it.
that.
All right, guys, let's pray
Right.
out.
God,
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 grant me the serenity
to
to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
guys,
Thank
see
you guys
you
for letting me
next
share this
week,
space with you.
same time.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Love
Donna.
you all.
Love you guys. Bye. Wow. Oh, going down to 74. What should I put it on? 75?